My name is Alyssa Scruggs, and I'm doing a policy speech on why Mississippi should downsize classrooms. I'm sure everyone here has been in a classroom of 30 to 50 kids. Were you not able to pay attention because of so many kids? Were you ever scared to participate in class because you were intimidated by so many people? Have you experienced not being able to get the help you need because the teacher has so many people to focus on and she can't just focus on just you? Many of kids go through this yearly during their school pathway. After intense research, I have gained a lot of knowledge on why it is bad to have too many kids in a classroom and how it affects the students. Now I'm about to tell you all about it. You may be wondering why having too many kids in a classroom is so bad. I'm here to tell you why it is so bad. We are the people that can help change classrooms being overly crowded. Today I will show you the need for downsizing classrooms in Mississippi. The Mississippi Department of Education should reduce the number of K through 12 students in each classroom, which can increase attention, reduce anxiety, and help teachers to give the students the help they need. I will now explain how overly packed classrooms can distract a student from paying attention. In the state of Mississippi, teachers can have as many as 30 to 40 students in a middle school class. EdSource magazine states in most LAUSD middle schools, the largest core classes have 37 students and can sometimes be as large as 46. With California, that's within California schools, but Mississippi schools are steadily increasing the number of students in a classroom, and we do not need to become like California because they can have 46 kids in a classroom, and 30 is still bad, but 46 is even worse, so we don't need to be like California. When a child is placed in a classroom with this many kids, it makes it difficult for kids to pay attention. The classroom gets noisier the more kids you have in it. This leads to kids getting distracted easier. Some kids also might have trouble paying attention if somebody is sitting too close to them. They may feel that they need their own personal space. When classes get overly crowded, the noise level rises. Once one person starts talking, another one starts. This causes students to pay more attention to what the kids are talking about rather than what the teacher is teaching. It not only affects the kids, but it also makes it harder on the teacher to teach. Thought Code magazine states, loud classrooms translate to distraction, making it more difficult for students to learn and for teachers to teach. Seattle PI magazine also states, distractions are also common in overcrowded schools, with more students per class in classrooms in closer proximity. Some kids also get distracted in overly crowded classrooms because somebody is sitting too close to them. Classroom magazine states, the invasion of personal space and feelings of being crowded both contribute to the lack of focus. A student cannot have his or her space. A student not having his or her space could cause them to not be able to concentrate on the teacher or their work. When a student has somebody sitting really close to them, any little noise the person makes that's sitting close to them could cause them to pay attention to the noise and not the teacher. I will now tell you why overly packed classrooms keep kids from participating in class. When a classroom is overly packed with kids, most kids are going to be less likely to participate in class. Most kids feel intimidated to speak out in class when there are 30 to 40 something kids looking at them. I now have this. This is a kid getting distracted by another kid sitting next to them, and that's by Parenting Pod. And I have this, my old school annual, and this is in Summerall in Mississippi. And this yearbook, they have like 30 kids in one classroom, and there's no way, and this is in elementary school, and there's no way that they could be able to pay attention to all the kids' needs and what they need, and for the kids to be able to pay attention when they have that small of classroom and that many kids sitting next to them. Like, one makes a little noise and the other one's going to act out and so forth, and then the teacher's going to have trouble calming them down. Most kids feel intimidated to speak out in class when there are 30 to 40 something kids looking at them. The magazine Education Week states, creating smaller groups of 2 or 3 rather than 5 or more and providing more vocal members can dominate even when they do not have the correct answer. When a classroom has 30 or more kids in it, a teacher cannot make groups or just two or 3s. Therefore, the shy kids and most kids who are not talkative are going to be less likely to participate in their groups, and which will eventually cause their grades to start dropping. I know whenever I was in school, I didn't speak out much because there were so many kids in my classroom. I was intimidated, by all the people sitting there staring at me if I was to raise my hand and ask a question, so I just wouldn't ask, and most of the time I ended up missing that question on a test or something. I will now tell you why the teachers are not able to give one-on-one help to the kids that need it in overly packed classrooms. Even in a classroom of just 20 kids, a teacher has their hands full and are not able to give the students the attention they need, much less in a classroom of 30 or more kids. Thought Code magazine states, students perform better when the teacher is able to give one-on-one or small group instruction on a regular basis. As classroom size increases, this becomes increasingly difficult to do. A teacher can't sit there and if a kid needs help, walk up to that kid and give it the help they need when there's 30 other kids that's done moved on and ready to start the next lesson, because that kid is sitting there struggling, but she can't stop the whole class just for a handful of kids to go back and say, hey, do you need help with this? And more than likely, they're not going to come to the teacher after the class is over either, because they're ready to get out. A teacher in an overly packed classroom can't stop and pay attention to the few students that need help, because then the teacher has 30 or 40 more students bored because they understand better than some of the other kids. Thought Code magazine also states, average and below students will struggle to advance in an overly crowded classroom. These students need more direct instruction, one-on-one instructional time, and minimum distractions to maximize their learning potential. In conclusion, during my speech, I gave you enough information to make an informed decision regarding why the state of California should downsize their classrooms, and now I'll summarize why downsizing their classrooms is so important. This is a picture of a teacher in a classroom teaching 40 or something students, and she's trying to teach and pay attention to each kid's need. And some kids are raising their hand because they need help, but she's still teaching because she can't stop. I mean, she might answer a few questions, but she can't answer 30 questions, because then she'd just be answering questions on just one subject all day long. Versus if you had 10, 15 kids in a classroom, you can answer all their questions and move on faster and not have to worry about wasting time on answering questions, because they have to get so much they teach done in a day, or else they fall behind and get in trouble by their boards. Teachers and students in California schools and in Mississippi schools should not have to worry about having their classrooms so packed to where they can barely learn. Most people think that the more kids are in the class, the less kids will be shy and the more they will learn to interact with other kids. That is not true, and it is a proven point that more kids are in a class, the worse they do on test scores, learning, or anything else in the classroom. Norwood News states, there is a negative impact, a burden on teachers, and there is no opportunity for interactions among students and teachers. Again, Mississippi should not become like California's school district is. We should let Californians be an example to us of them having so many kids. We should let them be an example that we should not be able to get like that. Even though Mississippi still has 30 to 40 something kids in their classrooms, 46 to 50 is a lot. So we just need to take them in consideration and realize that we don't need to have as many in ours as they do. Teachers and students, today I have shown you why it is so important to downsize classrooms in Mississippi. The Mississippi Department of Education should reduce the numbers of K through 12 students in each classroom, which can increase attention, reduce anxiety, and help teachers to give kids the help they need. Everybody needs to understand how harmful packed classrooms are to a student's learning. If we do not downsize the classrooms in Mississippi and take into consideration how California kids are failing and not passing because of how many kids are in their class, more and more students are going to start struggling in Mississippi. We Are Teachers magazine states, it is true, the more students in one room, the louder, the smellier, and more distraction it becomes. Individual teacher-student interactions and meet students' needs are impossible.